Yeah, so far still here. Congratulations on second place.
Thank you.
Your story, your relationship, your experience is so incredible. I heard, is this accurate? By the time you guys are going on the Amazing Race, this was only the 12th time you had met up?
I think that sounds right. Yeah.
What? Right? That's what I'm saying. I mean, honestly, pre-season, I was like, well, they don't know each other. How well are they going to race together? But then we see you had only 2 legs without a top 5 finish. Otherwise, you were in the top 5.
Oh, right.
Incredible. Yeah. Like, were you aware that you were doing well and excelling and maybe going to possibly win this show?
We knew we were doing good at the challenges. I think we were so disappointed at times with some of the navigation, not with the maps. We did well with maps. It was when we had to figure out how to get somewhere on someone's phone and then execute that.
And that made it feel like we weren't doing well.
Yeah. So we probably focused in on that too much. But at some points, though, we were like, we could definitely win this.
Yeah.
Like, we would finish legs and be like, yeah, we got this. We got the memory challenge. Like,
surprised ourselves.
Yeah.
Because we did not go into it thinking that.
Yeah. I mean, we're seeing you guys excel at so many things. I mean, Molly, you killed anatomy, then Emily's like throwing a Ducati together in record time. How was it for you to sort of learn about each other's skills?
We learned that a lot of her skills are also my skills. I think this thing that stands out most is probably she's less afraid of heights than I am. So we really chose well with those roadblocks. Yeah. But watching her do that stuff, I'm like, I could do this. I should just get over my little fears and do these things.
I was so proud of her abseiling down that waterfall or down to that cave.
Yeah. Not typically something I would sign up for. And I think I'm the only one who screamed going down the waterfall.
It was the cutest little scream.
Now, this mega leg in Italy, I mean, it kind of broke a few teams, but yet you guys won it. Was this one of those moments that you were feeling on that high? How was it for you?
That was like the perfect leg for us, the mega leg, because we had the anatomy challenge, we got the Ducati challenge, and then a memory challenge at the end. I mean, that really spoke to all of our strengths. And that was really what propelled us, I think, through the race. It was like, wow, we could do this.
Yeah.
You know, that was the moment where we thought, okay, we could really do this. Let's take it all the way.
Yeah. That was, the morning was not so fun driving in Bologna with the stick shift car.
I forgot about that.
But the second half, even in Florence, Florence is such a beautiful backdrop. Like, I can't wait to go back there.
Yeah.
But that was such a fun leg. The sculpturing, the view when we were sculpturing, well, not really sculpturing, but sizzling. Although Don thought we were sculpturing. It was so fun. And that model memory challenge, it was just we just clicked right then. Like, we knew exactly what we needed to do. You take this, I take this.
That was when we first witnessed one another running in sync.
Yes. Like, always on the same foot and the same pace. It's very strange.
That's wild. Now, in Jordan, this is the first time we're hearing that Emily's leg is hurting. What happened? Was there an actual injury? And then what was the care moving forward?
So in Jordan, when we finished at Petra, the medic team assessed me and determined that I had torn muscle fibers in my quad. And this was in my right leg. So from that point on, I was nursing my right leg and trying to let that muscle heal. And as a result of that, I overcompensated on the left. Unfortunately, after that Petra leg, there was a lot of downhill running. There were a lot of rocky surfaces. It was cobblestones, it was sand, pavement. And it did not lend itself well to my overcompensating. So eventually it caused a stress fracture. So I was running around the world with a stress fracture in my tibia, which I had no idea. I was getting cared for. The medic team had me on anti-inflammatories. They checked on me consistently. They were wrapping me with ice, elevating. I mean, I had round the clock care between them and my sister.
Mhm.
And I was always able to get to a stable enough point to start the next leg. So there was no giving up.
Then in Iceland, you guys get to do some swimming in very cold water. Was this any easier on your leg?
Yeah, I think it definitely helped. We had a few moments like that.
Yeah.
Malaga, Spain, we got the bicycles, which was
Mhm.
great. Also in Malaga, when we got down that excruciating hill, I found that all of the teams had left the station open right next to the sample. So I minimized my running there. There were a lot of gifts given to us, I think, that helped push us through.
Even the high wire wasn't like strenuous on her knee. And we know we had to save a roadblock just in case, you know, in my port, in case there was something really physical.
Yeah.
So yeah, we were fortunate the way the challenges aligned for her.
How was your mental place? How was your physical place by the time you are going into the finale? What was your energy like?
Oh gosh, we were nervous, but we knew we could pull it out.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Especially knowing that, you know, we were all starting at the same time, and we knew that we were good with memory as we demonstrated in the Florence leg. So we felt like we could really execute to close it out. So I think there were nerves, there was also confidence there. And so I think just the pressure though, we let little mistakes slip in. And one thing we've learned about each other is like, we're very supportive, but I think too supportive in that, like, we weren't questioning each other.
Right.
We weren't having arguments or anything like that, or disagreements about how we should do things. And I think, you know, when we get cast on the All-Star season, we kind of learned what we need to perfect, I think, in our race relationship, and we could really, you know, fix that pretty quickly.
Yeah, well, you are very good with details and you get out of that distillery first, but we do see you miss the turn before the roadblock. And then it's not even clear to us, like, what was happening on your way to Gibson Garage?
So we got the Gibson Garage guitar pick. And I was like, okay, this is music oriented. We should probably drive downtown and get directions downtown. So we got to, I think it was a hotel, found someone with a phone and asked for directions. And the way that her phone maps were pulling up, it wasn't orienting correctly. So when Emily was looking at it, it said to go this way, back over the bridge. When in reality, had it been correctly turning, we would have just kept going back into the city.
Bad case of race brain.
Yeah.
Really bad case of race brain.
And that's the moment where, like, I should have just said,
That's
I trust my gut, my instinct. We're in Music City. We should go downtown. Like, I've been to these bars. I know there's live music everywhere, but it also said Gibson Garage, something like, well, maybe it's like a factory warehouse. I don't know.
Yeah.
Right. Well, you got bad directions. That's not really your fault. Emily.
we interpreted the directions badly.
Okay. Emily, how was climbing up this bridge? I mean, luckily you did it correctly, but was this
oh my God, poor Michelle.
I know.
It seemed like it wasn't too hard for you.
Yeah, the bridge was actually another one of those gifts. So, you know, I was able to carefully step, and, you know, it was more of a rolling my heel, kind of putting the pressure on my heel first before I put the full pressure on my foot down. So it didn't really bother my knee at all. It wasn't like the hard impact of running. So that was okay. I was a little bit nervous, I'll be honest, when I started getting to the top. I didn't think it was going to be that high up, but then I looked down by accident.
I would have been a wreck.
So, but it gave me a thrill. It was an adrenaline rush for sure. It was great. Loved it.
This final task I thought was so fun to watch. Really fascinating combination of memory, but connecting it to the pictures, to the keys, and then the speed. We don't really get to see how you figured it all out. You just all of the sudden, you know, have moved up a place. What was that task like for you?
Overall, it was really fun. The most challenging part was just executing foot to the right key, because our leg was shorter. We had to take more steps to get to the key, and accuracy really was our downfall. That's why we did so many attempts, but we quickly figured out, let's pick the pictures, put them in order, and, strategize on who's going to do what keys. So we figured it out pretty quickly. It was just like
executing.
Yeah, that was fun. Like you could see, I would hit one key and then do like a grapevine to the next key. Whereas like Derek, I think he would hit one and then just shuffle over and hit the other, I'm like, wow, that would have been
much
nice.
Larger legs.
Yeah. And actually there was also times where we were running behind other teams. And they would start walking and we'd still have to be running to just keep up with them, because our stride is so much shorter.
Yeah.
Yeah. Heights definitely
are a little bit of a disadvantage.
Oh, interesting. Well, I ask everybody this question, but I just feel like it's so much more special for you guys. What was it like to do this race together?
Oh gosh, this race meant the world. I've shared on a couple other podcasts. So my mom actually passed away the week before we did our final interviews. So my mom and I and my dad watched the show when it first started, and we would say, we could do this, these people are terrible, whatever. And they've always traveled with me. And I've been, to other countries with them. Traveling was like sort of a part of our education that they provided for me. And it meant a lot to my mom. My mom actually traveled the month before she passed away to the Azores. So being on this race for me was a way to connect to her. This is the first time I'm saying it without crying. I'm so proud of myself. To connect to her and also share it with Emily. And she's been such a huge support for me throughout this whole grieving process. And this time on the race was, a way for me to not only get to know her, but for her to demonstrate like the strength of a sister bond. I'm gonna cry.
You guys are so lovely. I mean, every single time you said you missed out on 36 years, I was like, oh my God. Like, it's just hard to understand and relate to, but are you guys going to be able to, spend time together and, build this new life together now?
That's the hope. I mean, we're trying, we're doing our very best. Fortunately, we're just a plane ride away from one another. So it's just all about carving out that time and making sure that we connect on a deeper level. I think we've both realized after having gone through the race, how important it is. And it's not something that I'm willing to let go. So I will work very hard at it.
Yes.
Thank you for going on the show. It was so wonderful to watch you. I wish you all the best in life, but also coming back for All Stars. We want to see it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time. Bye.
Bye.